Hi, I'm Gabby Bonilla with Bonilla Law. Congratulations on your nuptials. A prenup may be the last thing on your mind as you are preparing for your wedding and making plans to build the future that you've always dreamed of with your fiance. Because who gets married thinking about divorce? On your wedding day, you'll say vows like, "Till death do us part," but we know that often it doesn't end in death. It may end in other ways. If it does end, imagine having worked out a plan so that you and your spouse could still feel the same love, respect that you hold for one another in the face of adversity, in the face of a divorce. That sounds like something that's useful to invest in. Yes, an investment. I know it sounds strange, but after you get married, you'll make choices like investing in a life insurance policy or estate planning documents like a last will and testament. And during your marriage, you and your spouse will work very hard to build your life together and acquire certain assets like buying your first home together, buying investment properties, your 401k, perhaps other investment tools and investment accounts. I mean, the list is endless, the amount of assets and wealth that you and your spouse can build together. Now, here's a fact that will shock you. In Florida, the average divorce will cost between $10,000 to $20,000. Yes, and that is just in attorney's fees. We haven't yet gotten to the process of dividing all of that hard-worked wealth that I listed to you. Imagine what it would feel like for you and your spouse. Now imagine if there was a way for you and your fiance and future spouse to plan to preserve that love, that respect, and the assets that you will eventually build with your spouse. In Florida, all of that wealth that you acquire during your marriage is joint. It doesn't matter if it's titled in one person's name or if one person worked hard to acquire it. It is joint marital property. However, in a prenuptial agreement, you can set up what is considered separate property. You can set up what belongs to you, what belongs to your spouse. Not to mention, we can also set up what alimony is going to be like. Are you going to waive it entirely? Or are you going to consider what a reasonable amount of maintenance or support, aka alimony, will be to your spouse? Using this time wisely to think about how you can protect yourself and your spouse in the future, it is a wonderful investment. If you don't have a lot of assets right now, it may be difficult for you to forecast in the future 5, 10, 15 years from now about the life you could build, about having maybe a property, multiple properties. I know the mortgage rates are ridiculous right now, but when you work together as a team, you'd be surprised how much more you could accomplish. Perhaps you're not that concerned about the wealth you're going to be building in the future and about the assets you're going to acquire. Maybe you are more concerned about, being career driven and building your own empire. Maybe you want to be an entrepreneur. What if you have the opportunity during your marriage to open the business you've always dreamed of? Like I said, that business, as it is acquired during the marriage, is marital property. It now belongs to you and your spouse. In a prenuptial agreement, you could set up your business to be separate, non-marital property. Maybe you have a wealthy family member who in the future passes away and you receive a very handsome inheritance. If you don't know how to keep that inheritance separate, it is very easy to make that asset a marital asset. But in your prenup, you could set up any inheritance that comes your way, no matter how you use it, how you spend it with your spouse. That will always be separate property, bar none. A prenuptial agreement can be used in multiple ways and creatively to set up the life that you want, even in the event of a divorce. At Bonilla Law, we take pride in putting family values first and trying to creatively resolve conflict outside of the courtroom. And a prenuptial agreement will give you the best opportunity at that. So, if you have questions, if you are interested, I am here for it. Contact me, give us a call. You are safe in my hands.